Nick, what did you and the team find in this memoranda of understanding?
Well, what we sort of see for the first time, I mean, we'd seen a lot of broad contours around this deal, but we get it all in one package at once. And what you see here is something that maybe isn't quite what the Trump administration has been messaging over the past several days. So there are immediate financial incentives that Iran gets once it signs this memorandum of understanding, and that's expected to happen on June 19th. And chiefly where that comes is the U.S. lifts all of its waivers on the sale of Russian oil, so they can basically have full access to the market to sell oil that is such a crucial part of their economy. And then from there, it's a whole series of other steps of financial incentives where sanctions will be released eventually. You would have Iran would get access to its frozen funds that are locked in overseas accounts, and also very crucially, you would see a broad sort of re-welcoming of Iran into the global economic community. So there's this also a $300 billion development fund where the U.S. would sort of help oversee that. So, in a lot of ways, what the U.S. gets in response is essentially, a commitment from Iran not to pursue a nuclear weapon, but it's something that will further stoke concerns from a lot of Trump's Republican allies who essentially have expressed a concern that this amounts to a financial giveaway to Iran.
Yeah, and the president has been so critical of the JCPOA, Nick, for many years. And I'm wondering, the financial element of this aside, the nuclear part of this and the uranium enrichment part of this, how is that different than the JCPOA that came into being during the Obama administration?
Right. So, I mean, what President Trump is essentially trying to do here is argue that the JCPOA put time limits on Iran's ability to enrich nuclear material and put various constraints on its program, but didn't ultimately prevent it permanently. So there were certain limits on Iran's enrichment capacity, for example, that came off after a certain number of years. So what he's looking to do is essentially put a permanent stop on that ability. But this memorandum of understanding is not the place where that will happen. So as the memorandum makes clear, it starts the clock ticking on a 60-day process for bigger negotiations that would address a lot of those details. But, the devil is really in the details there. And, it should be fair to the Trump administration. They argue that Iran will not get a lot of these financial incentives until it meets a lot of those benchmarks that the U.S. will put forward. The challenge there, of course, is that none of those agreements have been settled yet. There's no indication that Iran will commit to what the U.S. wants. But in the meantime, it is getting access again to the oil market, which will be a huge, huge financial boon. I mean, the sanctions on Iran had been in place for a long time, but it was able to get around them with some of the oil sales. So that's a big plus for Iran.
Who's in the driver's seat? I asked Nick because if Iran at some point just says, I don't like this, I'm just going to close the Strait of Hormuz again, right? Like they have that power. They've learned, right, in this incident or this war that they can do that and kind of shut down the world. So I feel like it sounds like anything could happen at any time down the road.
Well, I mean, Iran certainly has a better understanding of the degree of the leverage that it has in terms of being able to shut down the strait without a lot of assets, because you don't actually need to attack a lot of those ships. You just need to make shippers understand that it's too risky for them to go through the strait. So it has a lot of leverage there. Should be said on the other side, of course, and one of the reasons why Trump's supporters in Congress, Republicans, are saying, hey, this might not be so bad, is Trump can bomb them again at any time if he wants to. He has shown the willingness to attack Iran before, twice, and his supporters say, listen, if these talks drag on for too long, you've got that 60-day limit, he'll just attack them again. So you do have a situation where both sides do have some leverage. Of course, the issue for President Trump is he really wants this war to go away, especially with the midterms coming up, because it's such an unpopular conflict.
Right.
So he's going to be reluctant to do that bombing campaign again.
Which makes me wonder, though, if he's also been on the phone. We know he has, or he's certainly been pretty vocal about Benjamin Netanyahu, because Israel, has its own mission. And we've seen the continued bombing of Lebanon. I mean, if that isn't put to an end, is this all at risk?
Very much so. I mean, the draft MOU that we have says in the very first paragraph that the two sides agree to end their war, including in Lebanon. Of course, the issue there is that the U.S. isn't at war in Lebanon. It's Israel that's going after Hezbollah across its northern border, but Israel is not a part of the U.S.-Iran agreement. So a lot of that will really hinge on President Trump's ability to get Benjamin Netanyahu to do what he wants. And, of course, recent weeks have shown very clearly that President Trump doesn't always get his way there. That Netanyahu has shown a great willingness to go after Hezbollah, even if it makes things complicated for President Trump and upsets Iran. And that's been one reason why, in some ways, this deal has taken so long to come about. So a lot of question marks here that we're going to need to be sorting through in the weeks ahead.